Hey YouTube land, TechTurners here doing another action figure review, and this time it's continuing the McFarlane Warhammer 40,000 Primaris Space Marine reviews. Now this is technically the second fully painted Marine that they've done. The first one being the Assault Intercessor Ultramarine. The other ones that they have done is a artist-proof Space Marine, which I will showcase in a minute. And there is also, I think it's a gold label, so it's an exclusive. I'm not sure if it's Target exclusive. I can't remember where it's an exclusive to. There's a, actually I think it's Walmart exclusive. It's a Primaris Blood Angel Lieutenant. So before I proceed, I just need to say that these reviews are intended for collectors over the age of 13 plus to abide by COPA and FTC rules. And before I get onto the figure, I will get onto the box. So the box is a fairly standard affair with the Warhammer 40,000 logo. You have an image of the figure on the side of the box. You have a image of the other figures in this wave, which is the artist-proof Adaptus Serrata Sister. There is the, or Battle Sister Artist Proof. There is the Adaptus Serratus Battle Sister, which is the Order of the Martyred Lady. I couldn't remember the name when I did the previous review for her, but it's the Order of the Martyred Lady. There is a chase variant of this one, which is the, it's not Bloody Rose. Bloody Rose is the one that's coming out next. It's another one with Rose in the title, I think. And it's an all white with black trim for the actual skirt piece and the cloth pieces. Unfortunately, that one is incredibly hard to get and seems to be going for stupid money or insane money on eBay at the moment. Big Bad Toy Store had put them up for about $35, which is a good reasonable price considering they're about people paying through the nose on eBay for the only two that were up there, which were around, for at the time of this recording, there was one sold for I think around $150 on eBay, and there's another one with a buy it now. Actually no, I think the buy it now one was sold as well with an offer. But it was in a 200 or best offer. I did submit an offer and it got denied, unfortunately. So, and then the other version of the Space Marine, which is the Primaris Hellblaster Artist Proof. His Assault Plasma Incinerator is the weapon that he has. Now, the Hellblaster Artist Proof is different to the one that we will be looking at today. And I'll give a brief rundown on how and where those differences occur. So, for his main accessory, he comes with one big plasma incinerator, which is basically the Primaris version of the plasma gun. There's a few things to note about this guy, which is interesting compared to the actual basic kit that Warhammer or that Games Workshop produces. He also comes with the standard 40k flat logo base with a single peg hole, and he does have peg holes on both feet. I just didn't take his actual one out of the box, but it's all the ones so far have all been identical, so there is that. Now, what makes this guy different to the previous release is obviously the color scheme, but he has a few retooled different parts. For the start, he has a chapter icon logo on his left shoulder pad, which is the Blood Angel chapter for the Space Marines. He also has a Blood Angel iconography on his skirt piece, which is not on the other ones. You can see there's a bit of a excess of the glue that holds it on. It's just glued in place over the standard thing, so it's a separate sculpt but glued in place. His chest eagle is different again. The wings on the chest eagle for this one look far more angelic-like and more bird-like than the previous one. So if I just bring in my Assault Intercessor, you'll see what I mean. So you can see the wings on this one has just a double layer of feathers and the kind of wing part, whereas this one, the Blood Angel one, actually has a triple layer of feathers and the wing part. and that's carried over on the shoulder pad as well. As you can see, the Ultramarine logo is just a painted on logo for this guy and not embossed like on this. Well, this is actually a separate sculpt glued onto the shoulder pad. I hope going forward that McFarlane keeps this tradition going for the painted Marines. The other thing that is a main difference between this guy and the standard Marine is his helmet. It's a completely different redesign. He has the double pipes instead of single pipes. He has these extra bolts on his helmet, this extra pipe going on, and he has this what looks like a bionic eye under the helmet, which is interesting because they haven't done any unmasked or unhelmeted heads yet. People have been doing custom ones which look fantastic. Also the knee is a different paint, different icon. This is supposed to, I think this is supposed to be denounce the hellblaster group for the Blood Angel, and then he has a single yellowy orange teardrop, blood teardrop on the right shoulder pad. Now, figure wise, he is again different to the previous painted one, which is the Assault Intercessor. He is essentially a painted up version of this guy. Now, what this guy was when I originally got him was the Artist Proof one. So he came with a standard bolt rifle. He has the same hands. You see the outstretched hand for the left hand and the trigger finger hand, which is the same trigger finger hand on the Assault Intercessor. The only difference is the left hand on the Assault Intercessor has a closed fist for holding the chainsword. But if I just move this guy's hands out of the way, so far I haven't had too much issue with paint rub on this guy. I painted this guy completely myself. Now I have a few issues where these, I'm not sure if you can see it here, but some of the areas that I varnished went glossy as opposed to matte. I had sprayed it with a matte varnish, but I also kind of hit it with a kind of brush on varnish to see if that would help prevent the paint rub, and it's gone. I think the areas that I did the extra painted on brushing went a bit funky on me, so there is that just to be wary of if you do intend to customize one of these. I've seen a lot of people actually getting the painted version to customize because it helps with the paint rub, and I'll kind of show that off in this with this guy. So if you do get the painted ones, you don't have to really worry. If you just leave these areas black, you don't have to worry about paint rub on most of these, and same with the elbow joints. But articulation wise, this guy has all the same articulation as the previous one. So you have that arm on a ball joint, which does, I just pop it back into spot, move up. The shoulder pad should move out of the way and just get it to move, which would be nice without popping it off. Probably move a bit better on this one. Yeah, they do want to keep popping off there. So the arm should move and the shoulder pad should move out of the way. It's just really tight on this guy because he's pretty new. His head is on a double ball joint, so he has a ball joint at the bottom of the base of the head here, and then there's one on the neck, and there's a swivel. His arms are on a swivel just under the bicep. The shoulder pad has a double, if I remember correctly, it's a double kind of ball peg, so one that connects into the shoulder and one that connects into the pad itself, so you get a bit of range of movement on it. He has the upper bicep swivel, dual jointed elbows. He has a swivel in the wrist and a hinge in the wrist. Now these are the kind of standard McFarlane wrists, so the way these work is if you want to put the arm side to side, you just have to twist the hand to match, and then you can do side to side, or if you want up and down, you have to twist it so you get the spot right on these guys, and then you get up and down. So there is that. Upper diaphragm and lower waist joints, so you have a good range of movement. Can crunch forward that much, crunch back a good bit. Again, as with the other standard Marines, his backpack is separate in the packaging, but once it's plugged in, it is designed that you can pop it back out, but it's supposed to be kept in when it's been plugged in. His legs can only do splits that much. He does have that kind of standard thigh swivel on these guys. Can kick forward a bit, kick back a bit. He has dual jointed knees, so he has to get a good range of movement in that. And he has a kind of ball joint on the foot. You don't get much side to side because of the armor plating, but it is there for exposing, and you can get forward. Not too much. He gets quite a good bit back on the foot, not too much forward because, again, hindered. It hits the shin armor. So what is also interesting to note is this guy has more battle damage on him than the previous release. So if I bring in my standard one, you can see there's scarring on the armor plate. So it is a slight retool. And he still has the single pockets on the back. He doesn't have any logo painted on his pack. Again, these guys should have silvers on their pack. If I flip around the one that I painted, their backpack should have this kind of, depending on the chapter, most of them have this kind of silver for the thruster or for the exhaust vents and stuff like that on their packs, and the bolts on them are generally painted and stuff like that. So I did that in this guy. Again, if I just flip him around, you can see even with being the artist proof, he doesn't have this battle scarring, which is interesting. I do believe the lieutenant one has this on him. The Blood Angel's lieutenant has the battle scarring. You can see even on the shoulder pads here, you can see a small bit of it. It's not an issue with the actual sculpting, or sorry, not sculpting, but the actual, production of it. It's intended to have a more worn look. So, and for those who aren't familiar with the hellblasters, sorry, not the hellblasters, the Blood Angels. Blood Angels are technically space vampires because they suffer from what's called the Red Death or something. It's like a bloodlust sort of thing, because they have their own special, unique company, or a part of their army called Death Company, and they're pretty much all black armor with red logo, or with red deco on it, and they have pretty cool looking. They're usually assault guys, so they're usually like have a close combat weapon and a pistol, so they're getting close to the enemy, and they kind of do berserk mode, so they have that. And again, as I was going to say and point out, the difference between the model kits, or the miniature kits, and this is interesting enough. On the standard miniature kit, now I don't know which one came first, because there's actually a Blood Angel version of the Hellblaster kit, and it's no longer, it doesn't seem to be at the time of this recording, it seems to be no longer available on the Games Workshop website, but I have seen images of it. So it does have this deco, the red with the blue helmet and the plasma incinerator. And they do have a kind of a standard plasma incinerator, or standard hellblaster kit. The one that's on the website is done in ultramarine colors, which is the kind of, they're the default kind of marines, go-to marines for Games Workshop when they're showcasing Space Marines. They generally tend to go with ultramarines first, and then they'll dig stuff out in different chapters. What is interesting is, on the Ultramarines kit of this type of marine, there's actually an additional piece on the backpack that is like a power generator, and there's a cable that runs all the way from the plasma incinerator to the backpack, as if it's like a powered unit for it. So that doesn't seem to be on this one, for obvious reasons. Possibly it was either too hard to tool, or the information that Games Workshop gave to McFarlane's for sculpting was just the previous Blood Angel version of the Hellblaster set. Now, as I said, I don't know which kit came first. I have a feeling the Hellblaster kit got released when the Blood Angel Codex got released, and then it was translated into a kind of a standard kit. Sometimes they do that. They'll release new units that are chapter specific, and then eventually those units end up kind of, I won't say all of them, but some of them end up kind of becoming a default unit. So like they might do a special squad of scouts or something with chapter unique parts, and then later on they'll reuse that kit and strip it of some of the chapter specific stuff and give it a more generic look, and then re-release it as a generic Space Marine unit. So like you could get like a standard scout kit with sniper rifles, and I think the original scout kit was only bolt guns and close combat weapons, and then they did a sniper rifle set, and then I think that was originally like a special chapters one, and then it became like the standard. So they do tend to do that. It's rare, but they do it every so often. So as I said, I'm not sure if I'm sure hopefully someone will correct me in the comments below and go, you're totally wrong. But I think the Blood Angel Hellblaster kit was the first version of the kit, and then the kind of standard one now is the current default, and that has the extra cabling and stuff like that. So there is that. Hopefully I didn't waffle on too much for you about this. And as I say in my videos, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And just to get a height of this guy, I'll just bring in my tape measure. So you can see he stands just a little over the 7-inch mark, which is about right for Space Marines. They're pretty tall, and unfortunately I don't have any of my Sisters of Battle with me, but I will just bring in the Necron Warrior, which was the first Xenos, and it still is the first Xenos creature for the line. Hopefully we will get other ones, but what is interesting is there is another wave on the way, and that wave is supposed to include a Necron flayed one, which is, again, going back to this sculpt, doesn't look like it comes with weapons, because the flayed ones don't use weapons. They have like giant talons on their hands instead. So, and they have like bits of flesh hanging off them. So it is going to be a new sculpt, or retool at least, but with a few new parts, and it should have all the same articulation as this guy right here. So if you are interested in that, keep an eye to either the McFarlane website or the Games Workshop website when their information drops. You should see it there first. So there you go, guys. Again, hope you enjoyed this video, and as I say in my videos, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Cheers, guys.